Hello and welcome. It's Japan. We're gonna do a tier list again today. I want to do one on the Dead by Daylight killers. Obviously, I play Dead by Daylight quite a bit on Twitch, and we have tons of clips. I think we're like at least 100 by now that you can find in the. I'll put it in the description and then on the channel. But yes, which ones do I hate facing? I think that's probably the best way of doing it. Some of these killers are cooler if you play them, obviously, than facing them. But yeah, I'm gonna put them as S tier, being I love to face them, and D tier is I don't want to face them ever. I hate them. Please leave. So if that makes any type of sense, well, start off it would be the Trapper, and normally the Trapper, unless you get somebody that's really sweaty that camps, they're pretty easy to face. So I'm putting them in S tier. I like facing the Trapper unless you get a map that the traps are really hidden and stuff. We normally get the victory. The Wraith, or Bing Bong. I don't know. Bing Bong is like, he's definitely depends on the map. Because like if you have a wide open map, there's a lot to go around and get away from. But yeah, I actually really don't mind too much playing against him, so I'll put him in like A tier. Hillbilly. If it's like the whole thing is like if they're not killer or like tunnelers and campers, like it's not as bad. But Hillbilly, that's that rev of that chainsaw. You can kind of you know avoid it, so it's not as bad. Like I still wouldn't want to play against it, but it's not the worst. Nurse, I hate playing against the nurse. We always get them on very small maps, and they go all over the place, but definitely not the worst. Like I still would pick him over somebody. Mikey, I mean that stalking and that infinite tier 3 sometimes. I never like to see Mikey himself. It's actually one of the few killers I actually have played, and I like him that way, but not against him. I don't want to see that. Next up, we got the Hag, full of ruins. They always have ruin. They always have full of hexes, and we end up just running around. They're normally not that bad. I'll put them in the middle of the road. I don't care to see them, and I don't mind seeing them. The Doctor, super sweaty. I hate them. They just everybody that plays them I've ever had is really sweaty. Even the ones that like pretend to be friendly, like they'll be like, "Oh yeah, we could do some blood points," and then they just go after you and try to tunnel you into existence. Huntress, it's kind of a 50-50 with Huntress because sometimes they're really fun to go against because you can actually like have good battles and they try to hit you with the hatchets. And other times you get ones that all they want to do is just stay on you and throw hatchets at you. So I'm gonna put them in the middle of the road. Bubba's D tier. It's just the high probability that he's going to camp you is just not fun. Freddy, I actually really don't mind going against Freddy. I normally have a pretty good game as long as we can avoid some tunneling issues. With him being able to teleport back. He's actually pretty fun to play against. I put him A tier. Like I wouldn't particular. See, this is a very weird one to put is the pig because I love seeing the pigs when they're friendly, nice, like they're sweet. Even just facing them normally is kind of fun. But you got the sweaty ones that camp the freaking headgear areas or just completely try to start off with all of them on your head and then they just stay and go from little that little area and camp it, and it just makes it so rough. So I'm gonna put them in the middle. I wish I could put them higher because I do kind of like them, but it's that normally that full black leather with the retractable blades. That one is the worst. The default one, normally you can get a chance. Clown, I really don't like facing against the clown with all those smokes and stuff. It's very difficult. I definitely wouldn't put it in D tier because like if I see it, it's not the end of the world, but I just don't really like it. Spirit, I actually don't mind the spirit too much. It's kind of like I don't like it or dislike it. The teleporting could be definitely rough, but like you can see it and then you could run towards it. Actually, that probably put it a little bit closer because I do like that because like when she gets locked into teleporting, being able to run and chase, that area where they are. Legion D tier. If that would have been before patch, probably would have been way middle of the road. But since the patch, they are the worst. Just oh my god, the builds that they have, which is just yeah, it's all valid, legal, all that good stuff. But I absolutely still hate it. Plague. Plague's a like cool kind of character. Like I the whole premise of vomit and like having to manage when to cleanse and stuff is definitely interesting and definitely a lot of strategy going involved when you face against her. But you know, I hate like half the perks if you need to be at full health and you can't do it. So I put it in the middle. I don't like it or dislike it. Ghostface, he's gonna go in D tier, I think, just because of the patch. It's the same type of thing. It's just like that expose is a little ridiculous sometimes when they're in chase and they can just stop for half a second and get the expose, even though um, it makes no sense. Like obviously I know he's behind me, so it's not the same thing. But Demogorgon. Demogorgons are normally really nice a lot of the times. We have a friend named Traveler that normally can tame the Demogorgon, and if I'm not playing with Traveler, then I normally have some issues. But yeah, I actually like the Demogorgon. I'd put him there. I wouldn't be like, yes, I want it, but like it's definitely, better than the middle of the road. Oni, see, I like facing Noni sometimes, cause like he, with the charge up on the map and stuff, it really can get you around. The whole blood aspect is kind of cool to like really paying attention to that, cause I'm really bad about healing myself, but when I play against Oni, I make sure I get my heal. So, yeah, I think I'd put it A. Like I definitely don't look forward to seeing Oni, but it could be, um, something better. Gunslinger, uh, it just depends on the map with him, honestly. Because like if you can get areas that have some corners and nooks and stuff, it's fine. But it's just not something I normally want to look forward to because it's always the map. It seems like that they get like the good areas that they can just long hallways and wide open spaces. Pyramid Head, I actually really don't mind facing against Pyramid Head. He would probably be S tier. I like his design too, so he's kind of cool. Just anyways going after you, but I really don't mind going out against him. I think we have normally a pretty good shot about beating him with perks that we run and the teamwork that we have. So yeah, I would say that. Blight, yeah, it's another one with map. A lot of these are just map um, related. I'd put it neither here nor there. Like sometimes I don't mind because sometimes there's a lot of ways to get around them, and other times it's just a nightmare because you're just trying to get something like if it's you're gen locked, or something like that. The twins, I actually really like facing off against the twins. Um, they're not like bad. Like I wouldn't put like, oh yeah, I can easily beat them, but it's just a fun dynamic of having to keep up with two killers basically, and being able to yeet Victor is pretty cool. Trickster, I like Trickster's aesthetic. I think he's awesome, but I definitely don't like seeing him with those knives. Uh, I don't know. Actually, I'd probably put him on the bottom. I really don't like seeing him. He used to be much higher up there, but once Legion and Ghostface got those buffs, I think that really, yeah, I'm gonna put him there because he probably would have been at the bottom. Nemesis always at the bottom. He's so OP, and they're always just the sweatiest players. They anytime you're trying to get a challenge done, and they seem to be like, oh, I'm already kind of dominating and tunneling. They're the type of person that see you going for like an envelope, and like other killers sometimes will just let you get it, then you down them. You know, the same result basically. Other times he's the type to cut you off, knock down you, get the invitation even though he doesn't need it, and then teabag you. That's what Nemesis players normally are for when I deal with it. Obviously, these are my opinions. Not all players are like that. I have met one nice Nemesis, and some of these, like I play Legion when I want to be friendly. I've had a couple friendly Ghostface. But traditionally, right here, you don't see a lot of friendly killers. Yeah, same here. Up here, kind of. Pinhead. Pinhead's like mechanic is pretty cool. Like if he does have the item that where like if you don't get the box, it's just kind of infinite. That thing's frustrating, but I actually don't mind him too much. I put him in the middle. Artist, I like facing off against the artist. Those birds mechanic is kind of interesting, but there's like a lot of ways to get around it that kind of extend the game where you're not constantly being tormented by the killer. That you can actually get some stuff done. So I don't mind facing off. Onryo, she's gotten better. When she first came out, it was nothing about. It was all about just like teleporting between everything and having perks that would help you find everybody, and they would just keep teleporting between gens, and then they would hopefully just lock you down to only having three. But they kind of fixed a little bit of that, and I think people also started getting better with her, so they didn't have to rely on those mechanics. So I'll put her in C tier. I don't mind. I still don't like teleporting killers are harder for me. I'm not the greatest looper. And last but certainly not least, the Dredge, the brand new killer. Um, there's a lot to say with having to worry about the lockers and people trying to hide in them, and now it's kind of like it's detrimental to your health. I don't mind facing them because I do like the dark mechanic. I think it's really good to the game because it's kind of fresh. But it's not something I look forward to every time. But yeah, that's my tier list. It kind of evened out a little bit. Yeah, those are the ones I like to face against. Those ones I don't mind as much. This one could go either, either or. This one I when hear it, I'm just like, oh crap. And this one is like, okay, you want a DC? No. But yeah, that's my list. I hope you guys enjoy it. I was thinking of doing the Survivor one, and kind of putting it in between, just uploads and stuff. And I hope you guys like the tier list videos. I know I find them interesting watching, so I'm hoping you guys enjoy them too. And I shall see you guys next time. Bye!